twice a week. Anyway, so today I wanted to do something a bit different, because over the last 10 years, I've sort of found myself in a position of gaining tons of experience of having a job and then running a side hustle, whether that be a business, whether that be writing a book, whether that be going back to university. For the last 8 years, really, that's what I've been doing. Then I had 1 year full time, and then I find myself back in that position again, where effectively I have this job thing, one of those real jobs, as my daughter said to me just recently. She went, "Dad, you've got a real job again." Because obviously just doing all the beer stuff and motivational stuff, that wasn't a real job. But broking, that's a real job. Anyway, so I find myself back in that position again, and I'm enjoying it. And I think what I want to share from this quick post is that I genuinely believe there's a lot of mythology when it comes to side hustles, writing books, creating businesses, creating movements that do good in the world, right? That's what I'm all about, things that add some value to other people. And I think the mythology is this, that you need to go all in, you need to burn your bridges, you need to sell up, you need to move out, you need to burn those bridges and go all in, otherwise it's never going to be a success. That's just not true. In fact, they are the exceptions to the rule. And in fact, having spent 8 years in a full-time job and then writing books and creating movements and businesses and all that sort of stuff, what I've realised from the research, and because I was drawn to it, is that in the majority, people run new businesses, ideas, concepts alongside their day jobs. The majority of people do that. Even the mega successful people from Microsoft, Bill Gates. It's unbelievable. When you start to unpick a lot of this stuff, you see it. Again, we buy into the mythology that it was like an all-in choice. And I think that scares people. It scares people from trying, because they're like, I can't go all in. I can't risk that, especially in the current climate. But the current climate also, I think, maybe will force a hand for a few people. It might actually force them out of that comfort zone to go, right, I need to try something alongside what I was doing, because what I was doing doesn't exist anymore. Or if it does exist, it might not be quite as lucrative as it once was. So I think there's a real opportunity here for people to come out the shadows, to step out their comfort zone, and maybe think about all those little ideas that you've had for many, many years, just didn't quite have the courage to get out that comfort zone and make them happen. Maybe now's the time to do it. And speaking from personal experience, I love it. I love having something on the side that I'm interested in, another project that I'm chasing, that I'm trying to grow, that I'm trying to help people. I love having that around everything else that I do, whether that's, again, a broken job, because I think it's really important. If you can't find deep meaning and purpose in the day job, to create something around that that maybe walks you towards meaning and purpose, right? And I think so many people are a bit lost at the moment and struggling for meaning and purpose in their lives and in the current working situation. And again, I think we can get caught in that trap of going, it's my job, I'm stuck, but if only I could do this, then I'd be filled with meaning and purpose. And the truth is, that feeds that mythology where you have to remove that, put yourself in a vulnerable place, maybe financially or whatever it is, to try this thing that you don't even really know might turn out to be the thing that does bring you meaning and purpose, but it might not. Whereas, you can do it at the same time. Now, a lot of people listening to this will be saying, I don't have the time. There is no way I have the time. And as a coach, I'm going to just push that back and say, you do. You do have the time. It's there. There is always time. There is time for these things if you go and find it. I felt like that 10 years ago. There was no time in my life. If I'd listened to this video, I'd be watching it going, you're talking rubbish, mate. I would. So I sort of get it, right? And I'm just owning that, because I didn't have any time. There was no time for anything outside of work, family, stress, repeat. And then, and this is part of my story, so I am going to share it, I took a break from alcohol and I unlocked so much time, it's unbelievable. I unlocked half an hour, which became an hour, which became 2 hours a day. And that's what I'm talking about, right? There is time there if you're willing not to make the sacrifices, because that's not the right way to look at it. I looked at that. If you're willing to reorganize your life and structure it in such a way that you optimize your time, there's a much better way of looking at it. But if you optimize your time, and if you're willing to go all in on that optimization, and if you look at alcohol for example and say, that's stealing a lot of my time, then to optimize your time, you remove it. If you look at the way that you eat or move your body and you think, if I'm unfit and I'm not well nourished and I'm tired, that's stealing your time. If you optimize those things, you get more time back. And when you buy back 30 minutes or an hour, I've said this so many times, you can change the world in 1 hour a day. 2 hours a day, you can. You can change the world and make it a better place in an hour a day or 2 hours a day. You can. And I know it's incredibly difficult, and everyone's on a different stage in their life. Maybe their kids are younger, which makes it incredibly more difficult. Maybe their kids are older, whatever it is. Maybe they're, single parents. I get it. So we're all coming at this from different angles. So I know it's not just a cut and dry, hey, stop drinking, and then 2 hours appears. But you get the point that I'm making. There are time savings if you optimize your life, if you're willing to go all in on that optimization and then use that time, maybe constructively, to start something that you've always wanted to start. It could be to write that book. It could be to start that youth club. It could be to, someone just contacted me today, funny enough, a One You Know Beer member who's got so back into his time and his energy that he's creating animated films. How cool is that? Like, all of these things are there, like maybe all these hobbies and these interests that we've always had, that maybe there's a way to either just give back for free, doesn't have to always have an income associated with it, or it could be something that actually generates a bit of income that allows you to reach more people. And that was our view with the One You Know Beer movement. It was like, look, we figured it out. We needed it to generate income to reach more people, because most of the income goes back into marketing to reach more people. So it's one of those upward spirals where the more people we reach, the more people we help. So it needs the income engine. But you might find that actually for you, it's something you just want to give back. You want to share your insight or your experience through blogs or through Facebook or whatever it is. Like, all these things I think are so important, because what they do, they gift you a little look at meaning and purpose outside of like the day job, as it were. And you might find, like Ruri and I, that there comes a point where you go, right, now I can go all in, which I did for a good year and a half, and actually make that my full-time vocation, as it were, right? And I've loved every second of it. And now I flip back in to broking and then doing these things on the side. And I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it because I've seen what it's like. I know what that experience is like. And also then you find yourself in a stronger position very often financially, because there's a less risk involved, if you know what I mean. Now, I know the world's gone topsy-turvy and there could be lots of people coming out the other side of this, and all of those, jobs and careers could be a bit unsettled at the moment. And again, equally, maybe even more reason why to start exploring different things, different ideas, different concepts. Maybe spend the rest of the week or the weekend dreaming about all those ideas that you've thought about before but not quite had the courage to go for. Because I'm telling you, in this modern world, one, you can find the time. You can, if you optimize your time. And two, the barrier to entry into almost any market has just been completely lowered. And especially, I think, if you take the slant of doing good in the world, right? This is my approach. Like, how can you help others? How can you service others? I think that's where meaning and purpose lies for most of this. So if you use that frame of mind, maybe you could become a coach. I think that's a wonderful opportunity to give back and do something that brings meaning and purpose and also generate some income, right? But again, and the reason I say that is because the world's gone topsy-turvy. You might need to do that to supplement what's been lost because of what's been going on. And I think you've got every right to charge a fee for those type of services, right? Because they are incredibly valuable. We've all got experience to share. Maybe you could write a book. Maybe you could hold art classes. I don't know. It's unique to you, but you get the point I'm making. I'm just going to wrap it up now to say that I think there's a real big opportunity for everyone to find the time to do something they've never done before, to have that courage to start something on the side in and around their day job to test their meaning and purpose, and also see, is this something that they enjoy and they could do more of? The opportunity is now. I think you've got to look for those green shoots, and to do that you need to optimize everything in your life. From the way that you sleep, the way that you eat, the way that you move your body, your relationship with alcohol, the connection, all of those things that I talk about. You want to be on your A game to give you the space to do this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there and I'll just come to some questions. I know it's a bit different, but we'll see if that resonated.